Real Garretts Green driving test, going from the yew tree and Barrows lane, leaving at 10:30. You guys know the drill and exactly how it works. I'll be pointing out all the faults as they happen, little bits about the road and what's going on as well. So if you could drop any comment below to help boost the algorithm, that would be much appreciated. A couple of you mentioned my other platforms. There is a YouTube channel as well for if you wanted to watch it on a larger screen. Now, the road is really quite packed today. There's trucks everywhere and it's really tight. You only really need to worry about that though if there's other cars coming towards you from the other way. Other than that, you are allowed to use the full length of the road to make sure there's equal space to the left and to the right of you. Notice how they entered the box nice and early, even though there wasn't any cars coming. It's good to do this because situations can change. This whole stretch here, as I'm hoping you guys know, is a 20 mph road, which, considering all the speed limit changes in Birmingham, this is actually seeming quite fast now. This can be a bit of a tough one. If there's cars parked either side, you will not fit with an oncoming car. Look for those gaps, keep it slow, you don't have to do the full 30 down here. You can't quite clearly see it on camera, but there is a lot of space given to the left and not much to the right. So one fault picked up here for clearance, which was, I'll be honest, to be expected. At this roundabout, the examiner would say, at the roundabout, I would like you to go straight ahead. Notice how he takes it from the inside. Because it's a single lane entry roundabout, that is 100% acceptable. Coming off of the roundabout, there was good signals, but there was the missed mirror check to the left. There was a centre mirror check, the left one was missing. So when coming off the roundabouts, you must check both the mirrors, centre and left mirror. Notice how there's a van parked up on the left. Things got quite close to the car that was passing. A better decision could have been to slow it down quite a bit, let the blue car pass and then carried on past the van. That way it wouldn't have got so close to them. It is hard to judge the space by the footage because the wide angle lens gives you a very different field of view. Coming around this corner, they did end up on the other side of the road slightly and having to steer quite a bit to come back to the left. They just needed to take it slightly slower and slightly faster on the steering. Now, he's been asked to do an emergency stop. I have slowed this down because this does get interesting. At the time, it is safe to do the emergency stop because the examiner, they do the observations. It's up to them when you stop. And now they're ready to move off. They do the all-round observations, but a car starts coming from behind. They are slightly in the middle of the road and they had their signals on to move off, but the car decides they're going to still carry on passing them. So they did pick up a minor fault here. It was for move off safety, but that quite easily could have turned into a serious or a dangerous fault. Coming up at this roundabout, they had a drastic change of speed and there ideally should have been mirror checks here. So they did pick up one minor fault for use of mirrors change of speed. They did have to stop because it was the cars to the right priority, so them stopping isn't an issue. Down here is a road used for South Yardley and for Birmingham and Garretts Green. As you can see, it does get quite tight around here. There's lots of weaving in and out, so the mirror checks and observations down here are going to be crucial, especially because there may be people going to their cars, opening their doors and things like that. And they are now doing the hardest maneuver out of all of them, reverse parallel park. As you can see, he did have to make a small minor adjustment here. So we did pick up one minor fault, and it was for the reverse park control. I think the steering was going a little bit crazy inside as they were trying to get everything into position. So, 7 faults and halfway through. If they carry on like this with only minor faults, they should pass. Now, down this stretch coming up, it does get tight and you have to keep going because otherwise, well, you're not going to get anywhere. Unless there was like a large vehicle like a HGV taking up a lot of space. They do get very close to the cars on the left. So they picked up one fault there for clearance. As they pull up here, they are blocking the drive, so they did pick up a minor fault for this. Unless the examiner says so, you must not block driveways. They may say to you, pull up on the left, ignore driveways on this occasion, and then it's acceptable. It's not a trap. Just to make things very, very clear, if you join this road now, it is now a 30. A lot of people have argued with me over this, but it is now a 30. The signs have been spray painted over since. It is 30. It's not enforced yet, but for driving tests, it is. So what I mean by that is, you're not going to be getting any speeding ticket fines at the moment. The cameras will eventually switch over to 30 miles per hour. The space that was given here to the parked vehicles was much more appropriate. Again, lots of weaving in and out of parked cars. Each time throw those mirror checks in. Your neck is going to be aching by the end of this road. Now, at the moment is their right of way, but the other cars are kind of pushing their way through. They did the right thing by holding back, letting them progress, and then they continued, because the oncoming cars were already progressing. I personally can't stand this roundabout. It's quite busy and cars take it quite fast, even though it's so small. There's really nice good gap, so he takes it and commits in. As you come off, scan the crossing. I can't say it enough, scan the crossing every single time. So with this roundabout, they're going right 6th exit, which leads you back to the test centre. As you go ahead, you'll notice there's too many roundabouts. You normally go straight ahead at both of them. Make sure you still do the check to the right, otherwise you could get a serious fault. So nothing else really happens on the way back to the test centre. The drive itself was generally a good drive and it had some really tricky roads on there. Main things being space to parked cars. A few examiners have mentioned it last lesson, so normally what I would then do is go through it with the rest of my students, making sure every time you pass a parked vehicle, it's got plenty of space either side, or as much space as you can give it. So I hope you found it useful. I hope it helps. There's lots more tests coming up. And just as a quick note, in the end, if you don't get directly in the space and you are over the lines, doesn't matter as much.